Chim chimity chim chimity chim chim chiroo. Everything I say reminds me of you. Welcome here to the Prog Monster, where insanity is ruling today. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. I know you're wondering what's going on. Well, I was watching the Prog Corner, and I'll tell you one thing about Scott. That boy has a ball of energy unequaled on YouTube. Anyways, we're here today to do an episode of What's New. And this is a show I do every Saturday night in which I pick an album that has come out in the year 2025. So last year it was 24, but this year it's 25. I pick out the albums that I think the people on this channel would appreciate. I've picked out an album today from a band, another neo-prog band. We did one last week with IQ and their new album, Dominion. This week we're doing Solstice, another neo-prog band from the same era, and their new album, Clann. This is the third album in a trilogy of albums, Shia, I think Light Up, and now this one, Clann. So Light Up, I think, was the last one. I believe it came out like 2.5 years ago. Anyways, really, this is really good stuff. The only disappointing thing about Solstice that I can say is that, like The Who, they don't have many albums for their length of time around. So they've been around 40 years, and they only have the 8 albums, which is kind of disappointing because their stuff is great, I think. This album, there's no exception to that. I do like this album, already like it a lot. Definitely probably will have to get it. I haven't had a good time getting Solstice albums, so I'm going to try again very soon. Anyways, we'll get down to it. So this album released on April the 4th, 2025. The album is titled Clann, C-L-A-N-N, C-L-A-N-N, if you haven't seen it. So it's about 38 minutes in length. I do believe it's being distributed by a Giant Electric P, but I'm not sure what the label is for it. So let's talk a little bit about who's in the band. Andy Glass, of course, is the original member and the leader of the band, and he plays guitars and backing vocals here. Jenny Newman is on this album playing violin. Pete Hemsley on the drums, very good too. Jess Holland lead vocals. Robin Phillips on bass. Stephen McDaniel on keyboards, and then the backing vocal duet of Ebony Buckle and Diane Crutcher. 5 tracks. There is an extra track on the CD, but I don't have a copy of the CD, so I'm not going to talk about that, even though I would like to. We're going to talk about just the 5 tracks that I've had a chance to listen to. So, couple things about the album before we break it apart a bit. So very, of course, up-tempo. Most of their stuff usually is very up-tempo. A medium pace, but like lots of uplifting type feeling to their music. That's what I find with Solstice. One of the things I like about it. It's got a bit of a Yes feel to it that way. When I'm listening to them, I don't really hear Yes, but I do hear a lot of that up-tempo stuff. The guitaring is fantastic on this, probably the best instrument on the album for sure, although it's pretty dominated a lot throughout a lot of the tracks here. You've got a very violin-dominated album, and there's a fair number of keyboards, timely keyboards, not dominant, but at times, and there's a little bit of organ on at least one of the tracks, which I'll talk about when we get to it. The drums are very up-tempo, very strong, lots of rhythmic moments to them, very intricate. Like, the guy's a great drummer, I like him. And the backing vocals, I think, really make this a strong album. So, of course, Jess Holland doing the vocals here. She's got a smooth, clear, articulate, lovely sounding voice, and the 2 backup vocals when they harmonize with her, it's almost like angel music in some ways, I think. Very clear sounding, great production to this album. You can hear all the intricacies, which I like. It's definitely very proggy at times. Probably the most dominant most dominant part of the album is proggy. But you do have some couple of songs here that have a bit of a funky feel to them, especially the third one. Lots of funky sound to it. There's a couple tracks here that are a little on the poppy side as well. But the stuff I like the best tends to be a little bit more proggy. But there's lots of variety here. This is not a band that's enclosed by one style of music. So let's get to it. So the first track is called Firefly. There's actually a video for this one. A video for this one as well. Really good. I like this. One of my favorite tracks on the album. It's got a heavy upbeat opening. It's dominated by the tempo, at least by the beat anyways. Keyboards are really good. The vocals are clear, smooth. The backing vocal and harmonies are the strength of this song, I believe. Keyboards solo throughout the track, not bad. It's pretty good. Dominated by more harmony vocals towards the back end. The guitar solo is both smooth, clear, clean, and great. I think this track is just very well put together, and I can see why they're putting it forth as their track for video for people to see. It gives you a feeling for what the band's like. It's kind of a bit of a psychedelic video too, kind of broken up with different kind of aspects to it. The next track out, I didn't like it as much, but it's still got a lot of the same characteristics to it. It's called Life. It opens with a very strong rhythm section and a keyboard part that kind of dominates at the beginning as well. Twin vocals here. Harmony vocals are dominating throughout this whole album, to be honest with you. Lead vocals again, clear, smooth, very strong, and very pleasant sounding. Vocals dominate throughout this whole track, to be honest with you. Not a particularly heavy track, more on the poppy side, but quite good. There's almost an acoustic sound at parts of this album, and there's quite a bit of violin on this as well. It builds up to a very symphonic atmospheric sound towards the end of the track. So really good. I like this song quite a bit. Next up, you got Plunk. Okay, this is the first of two, a little more on the darker side. Not something they do a lot of, but it's definitely here. It's got almost an a cappella feel to the vocals at the opening. Catchy guitar riff that goes on throughout the entire track, to be honest. There's a bit of that Hammond organ sound going on here. Not too forward, but kind of in the mix. The vocals are clear, but jumpy, almost funky sounding at points. The lead track of the vocals here is really good. The bass instrumentation sound, or it's got almost brass instrument sound to some of the bits here to kind of give it that funky feel too. I think the guitar solo is fantastic here. Very bitey, very distorted, heavy, almost screechy at times. It's almost got that sound like you used to get on some of those old Yes solos off of 90125, that kind of screechy sound to it. Yeah, that's what it kind of reminded me of, although I think this is better done. It doesn't sound too rigid. It's smooth but screechy at the same time. Probably one of my other favorite tracks on the album. The next one is called Fripa. This is a little bit of a darker part to it. The drum part is dominant here, very good at the beginning, the vocal noises, and it picks up a guitar part as it goes along here too. Little bit of that twinning or harmony vocals if you prefer. The lead vocals are a little bit stronger, bitey, but smooth at the same time. You got a keyboard solo. It's catchy and supports the vocal part quite well. And there's, of course, violin in here as well. Picky guitar. The drum parts are continuous throughout the track, pretty much dominating. The violin solo is fantastic here. Probably the best part of this particular song. I do like the church organ part with that spoken voice as it kind of breaks the song up a bit. And then you got this screechy guitar solo, followed by a strong violin part towards the end of the backside of this song. Yeah, a good song, but probably actually in some ways probably my least favorite. But I don't think it's a bad song by any stretch. Definitely a strong one. And then the final song, which is kind of the epic on the album. The other songs are all 5.5 to 6.5 minutes long between the four of them, where this song is quite a bit longer. It's almost 14 minutes in length. It's kind of a bit more solemn, a slow, more mellow opening, very pastoral in a lot of ways. The violin is much more dominant here. The keyboard part, I think, adds to that solemn feel to it as well. So you got all this kind of I wouldn't say it's a heavy feeling. It's just solemn, very pastoral. The vocal part, solemn, but strong, smooth, gripping. Harmony parts are timely. So they add these harmony. The two other girls come in and add the kind of strength to the back of the vocals here. It builds up an epic, atmospheric kind of symphonic sound towards the halfway point of this album. And then you get this slower melodic part that just kind of, so the song kind of builds to a crescendo and then drops. And then you got a smooth, kind of quieter sound before it begins to build up again. It's like exactly what Scott said. It's like a Twin Peaks, and you can see what the Twin Peaks are here. The song very much good title for the song, in other words. I think the guitar part here is melodic and a little bit higher in the edge. Now, I'm not a guitarist, so I don't know exactly how the keys in that work, but there's a much higher sound in this particular guitar part. It fades about halfway through the part a bit. Becomes almost a kind of a spacey rock feel to it. I wouldn't say it's like a Hawkwind sound or anything like that, but it gets a little bit more spacey as he starts to slow down a bit. It slowly picks up a multi-vocal part that all three girls are singing very well here. I would say it's more melodic than any of the other tunes and has more of a symphonic atmosphere to it, but also a very pastoral part to it as well. As pastoral as you get from electronic stuff. I mean, there's no folky sound that you would get with acoustic instruments, but it has that feeling nevertheless. I would say this is probably the most vocally dominated track on the album, although I think if somebody had asked me what was the most dominant part of the album, I would probably say the vocal parts are the most dominant part, followed very closely by the guitar and violin, and then the drums, and then the rest just kind of fill in where they need to be filled in. I don't know that I remember them doing a lot of violin on their last album. I don't recall it. I would have to go back and look, but this one definitely had that going on, and you could hear it throughout it. It was really well done, too. She's quite a good violinist. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this presentation, if you want, of What's New, featuring Solstice Clann, their newest album, which came out actually yesterday, so it's very new. Definitely one I'm going to order, along with the IQ one, which I had last week, but I'm just got to find it for a price that I can afford because I'm not living at the top of the hog here. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please hit the like and subscribe. That's much appreciated. And if you want to make any comments about the album, you can do that in the comment section below. If you want to see more videos on this, you could go to Scott's Prog Corner over there and see what he has to say. I think it was a great episode. He just did a fantastic job. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Anyways, I hope to see you all throughout the week, and have yourself a good evening, and we will see you next Saturday with another episode of What's New. So take care and have yourself a good one. Goodbye.